What is up, pro gamers? Today we will be doing a little Nintendo Direct prediction. When they revealed this, that's crazy because there's like a rumor a couple months ago from the person that said that the Switch 2 would come out the Switch 2 trailer would release on the day that it did. And then that same guy was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a direct in February," and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I guess that's gonna happen." And then February passed, and then people were just like, "Oh, I guess he was wrong." But then they announced this, and just like there was a rumor also like yesterday that there was gonna be a Nintendo announcement today, but like people were thinking like a Nintendo Direct Mini at most, some sort of indie world, maybe a partner showcase. Just like an actual Nintendo Direct is insane. And here's my first prediction, and that is that this is like the bare minimum of what a Nintendo Direct could be, just because like I don't know how they would do a Nintendo Direct. I feel like they're gonna stretch things, um, just because like especially following up the June Direct, because the June Direct was sort of seen as like the Switch's swan song. It was this huge, crazy thing with like you had Marley Brothership and Legends of Lucas Wisdom. Was Super Mario Jam revealed there? I think it was. And you had like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Metroid 4 Beyond. You had so much stuff, and it was such a good direct that people thought, okay, that's like the direct to end the Switch one. But then they just like announced this a week before the Switch 2 comes out. And I just can't help but feel that this is going to be a pretty light direct. They're calling it just a direct, and why wouldn't they call it a direct mini? I think so. This is a really out there prediction, but it might be possible this was meant to release in February, but maybe they got some sort of game that I don't know that may add value to this direct, and we're gonna go into what game I think that may be. But like it is insane, and I can't help but think that this is going to be not that great. I don't have my expectations up, but I'm just really excited, and another thing that this brings into question is like how much focus will the Switch 2 Direct have on the Switch 2? Because I feel like doing an direct beforehand sort of makes it feel like the Switch 2 Direct is going to be much more focused on the Switch 2 hardware than a lot of people talk about, and that would make sense. It's literally just called the Switch 2 Direct, but like I do think they will show games, but it wouldn't surprise me if that Direct is much more focused on the hardware than I think a lot of people assume, because why would they do this if they're going to do like a big game presentation a week later and all these games will be overshadowed? So yeah, let's get right into it. So my first this page is sort of just like predictions, but like stuff that everyone's talking about and is almost guaranteed to be there. Metroid 4 is guaranteed. I feel like it would be really funny if they don't put it there. If they don't put it there and they save it for the Switch 2 Direct, that would be really funny because Metroid 4 is sort of the only reason why I think this direct would exist in the first place. That's why I think that like if you take out any of the games, if you take out one of the games that are gonna make up this direct, I feel like it'd probably make more sense as a direct mini, but I just think maybe they said just enough game announcements to call it a Nintendo Direct. And yeah, Prime 4 Beyond, I think it's gonna happen. They haven't done a single follow-up trailer. I was under the impression that the reason they didn't do a single follow-up trailer and the reason we just got that little teaser back in June and then nothing else since was because we were gonna get it really marketed to us as like a Switch 2 game. They're gonna do the first trailer as a Switch 2 showcase. That would make sense. I think that it would be insane if Nintendo doesn't make Metroid Prime 4 a Switch 2 launch title. I know some people argue against that, but like I think they would complement each other pretty well. The people buying a system on day one already, like, they're the hardcore fans. You don't really need to win them over with all these like great games, or like you don't need to have Mario Kart on day one. Mario Kart is like a holiday title, maybe in like May or something, or I guess if the Switch launches in like June, it'd be like in August. But like a couple months after the system launches, you can have that sort of game. But I think on day one, it's a good chance to just put a game that like not everyone would get, which is what exactly happened to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild did so well because it was a Switch launch title. Now, do I think that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond would have the same appeal? No, because there's big talks about like Metroid Prime 4 not having its like Breath of the Wild moment, which people get mad at that, but I think it does make sense. But that's not the game's fault. The game is really just trying to be a follow-up to Metroid Prime 3. Now, that said, I'm saying this, and a lot of people are saying this, with the tiny sliver of reveal trailer that we got in the June Direct. That seemed like it was just like the opening couple seconds, and then it just cut to the title and releasing 2025. So I thought, like, with how little we got, that would make sense to be like, okay, the reason why we're getting so little and the reason why it took so long to bring this up was because maybe this was initially supposed to be revealed alongside the Switch 2, which the Switch 2 was delayed, so it makes sense why the trailer would be, and they just wanted to get it out there and make it a multi-plat. And this Direct, like, it really makes you question whether or not Metroid 4 really will be a Switch 1 exclusive, which is insane to think about, but technically a Switch 1 exclusive is playable on Switch 2, but I just think it would be such a big missed opportunity for Metroid, and I think Metroid would help complement the Switch 2 with it being like a really graphically impressive game and all that stuff. I would be shocked if they don't do that. I think that would be not a good idea, but I think that there's no way we're not getting that here. Let's move on to the next one. Hollow Knight Silksong I added here because there's another one that like everybody's talking about, how like this is everything seems to be lining up to make Silksong to have Silksong make sense in this Direct. And I don't know the exact details, but I know there's like rumors and just little edits to Silksong's Steam page, and just for a while there hasn't been much news. I think that would make perfect sense for it to release for it to be in Nintendo Direct, because every indie world that happens, people are like, oh my god, they're gonna show Silksong and it's gonna happen, and it's just like, I think that Hollow Knight Silksong is so big that it would make more sense alongside a Nintendo Direct than an indie world or a partner showcase or a mini. And this is what I was talking about. I think it wouldn't surprise me if the reason this got delayed was maybe because Nintendo got a chance, or it's not forever delayed, but in this hypothetical, if it was delayed, I think that would make sense. If they were maybe Team Cherry reached out or something, I don't know. But Silksong would add quite a lot to this Direct. I don't really care much. I play a little bit of Hollow Knight. It's not my thing. But I do think it would make sense to have it here, and it seems like everyone's talking about this being like a huge possibility. Now, the biggest, not the biggest, but like the new, this is like one of the only like new reveals that people are also talking about. There's been rumors for a Kirby Planet Robobot remake, or I guess just re-release on Switch. I'm not excited for that. I don't get the people that get super excited for like 3DS games coming over, which are like old in like Wii and 3DS, I think are the ones where I get the most confused, because like with the Wii U, a lot of games are stranded on that system. Like, they just had nobody to play them. Like Xenoblade Chronicles X, yeah, you want to bring that to the Switch, it's going to get way bigger of an audience. Literally every single Wii U port makes sense to bring to the Switch. With 3DS, like, it just sort of feels unnecessary to me. Like, sure, like, you'll finally be able to play it on the TV, and you'll have much crisper visuals. But, like, I saw all these people complaining about, like, Skyward Sword being priced at like $60, and why did they remake this, it's such a stupid thing, when it's just like, I think this is going to be the same thing, but for some reason I've seen a lot of people happy about Kirby Planet Robot getting, we assume getting a port on Switch. I think it's fine. I think Kirby Planet Robot is a really good game. I love Kirby Planet Robot. I just think that I don't get the people that are so excited for this to be brought over because everyone that's excited played it before. So I don't know. I can't imagine that would sell very well either because like Kirby Forgotten Land was like the big seller for the Switch, and I think Return to Dreamland Deluxe sold well, but not nearly as well as that. And coming this close to the end of the Switch's life, it feels weird. I get it as just like a release to hold people over. It is one of the most beloved Kirby games. But I think it would make more sense to do like a Kirby 3DS collection or something. I think just having Planet Robobot and nothing else, I don't know. It's probably gonna be fine. Maybe they'll add new content and fun little side things like they did with Return to Dreamland Deluxe. But as it stands, I'm not really hyped for this, but it's probably gonna happen, and the rumors haven't happened for a while. So the next page is like my personal predictions of what I think could happen. First off, I think Mother 3 would make sense. This could be really stupid, but like, I'm just thinking about like, there was a Nintendo Direct a while back where Nintendo kind of saved a little trailer just for Earthbound, and it was like this big deal, and they didn't reveal any other Switch Online game alongside it. They just only had a trailer for Earthbound, as it was this big new game, and it's just like, Nintendo has to stop acting like this with Earthbound because they add it to the service as if they're doing everyone this big favor, and oh, they brought us Earthbound over, like they own it. There's no problem. Like it's really easy for them to bring it over. They did it on the Wii U, and they did it again on Switch. It's cool that it's there, but like the thing that I'm saying is that they know people love Earthbound, and they know that it's a Nintendo Direct worthy announcement. And when you're sort of running low on announcements for the Switch One, I think doing a Mother 3 translation would be really good because it wouldn't take that much work. You would have someone have to translate it, and people have done that already. There are a bunch of fan translations, and I think that it would just be it would be a huge announcement without Nintendo really having pouring a bunch of work into like a game for the Switch that the hype is gonna leave once the Switch 2 is revealed. I think that Mother 3 would make sense. Now, I think it has a relatively low chance of happening, but I think it would make sense as a big, low effort announcement. Next up, Pushmo. I forgot I put Pushmo. Pushmo I think would make sense just because, you know, it's Pushmo. It's a great series. It hasn't got a game in a really long time, and I think the Switch has always been lacking of like smaller titles like this. And usually in Directs you get one. Usually you'll get one smaller title. You get one little I don't Nintendo Direct minis. I feel like usually get them more, but there's a chance that this might even start as a Nintendo Direct mini, and maybe like with Silksong it turned into Nintendo Direct, or I don't know, something strange happened. But I think Pushmo would make perfect sense. It's not like a huge game. You're not gonna pour all this money into a game for then the Switch 2 to kill its hype, because it's Pushmo. They're small little short games. Maybe they're probably like for Nintendo maybe even $25 on the eShop. I think a lot of people like it. I really hope we'll get a new Pushmo or just like some sort of small eShop game. But I think that's sort of possible. Next, Wario Land. Now, this might be a bit out there. I was sort of debating between putting a Wario Land game and a WarioWare game. Because WarioWare would sort of make sense because, like, Nintendo released WarioWare Move It 2 years after they released WarioWare Get Together. And it's gonna be 2 years since they released WarioWare Move It. So maybe they'll do a new WarioWare, but I think that's more out there, I guess. It's probably a safer pick because it's not as, like, huge of a game like WarioWare. I don't think that they expect WarioWare to sell that much. Wario Land, depending how they go about it, it could be a bigger title, but I think, well, I'm putting Wario Land just because, like, that's big. It's a Mario series title, it would be a new game, and I think, let me just go back, because here, this isn't enough for a Direct. 2 games that are already announced and 1 new port isn't enough for a Direct. And here, having Mother 3 translation, which probably won't even happen, and a Pushmo thing, but which also probably won't happen. I think even that, adding onto that, isn't enough, because Mother 3 would just be a translation, which would be huge, but it would literally just be an update on Nintendo Switch Online. Pushmo would be a new game, but it would be a small new game, and when you really think about it, they would do a direct for 2 trailers on previously announced big games, and 2 new games, one of them being Pushmo, and one of them being a port. So I think we need one bigger game, one game that it might not be huge, it might not be like a new Zelda or a new like mainline Mario, but a game that, you know, maybe it hasn't gone one in a while, but maybe it like is recognizable. If they announce a Wario Land, I think that's a big deal, and I think that would make perfect sense for Nintendo Direct, especially with the Switch 2 coming out, and I think a Wario Land would really put it all together, especially with the next game that I'm gonna have, would really make this feel like a solid Direct, because you really can't just have a Metroid trailer, a Silksong trailer, and like a new Kirby port, maybe like another port, maybe another small game. I think you need one big game for that. I think Wario Land works. I think it's not too big. It's not putting the next 3D Zelda on here, but I think it would get a lot of people excited, and it would be fun. It would be really good. Now, the last one is Super Mario Party Jamboree, because I thought that like DLC would really work for this presentation. It would be big, but also it wouldn't really like be huge, hurting like the Switch 2. Or, I mean, the Switch 2 wouldn't really hurt the announcement DLC. So, and I think I looked up just like what games that was released recently, and I thought Mario Party Jamboree just made the most sense, because it's just like releasing new boards for the game, maybe have more characters and more mini games. That just makes sense. Mario Party Jamboree was incredibly successful, and they did an update for Super Mario Party like years, or was it New Super Mario? I think it was New Super Mario. Wait, I'm saying New Super Mario Party. It's just called Super Mario Party. They did an update years after that came out, just like randomly adding online. So it's not like I wasn't doing any updates for Mario parties. So I think doing a little update with a couple new boards and new characters would make sense. I think that would that's I think the prediction I'm most, or I guess second most, because we're getting to something, but that's the prediction I'm second most sure of, because I think, you know, it's safe, it would make sense. That's not like a huge new game, but it's also like, oh, it's a pretty substantial announcement for a Direct, and it would make sense to be in one. Now, this next one, this next one, I'm almost 100% sure it's gonna be there, and that is the next THQ SpongeBob game. Because we've been getting, if you had your eyes out, you would notice that we have been getting yearly SpongeBob games for 2 years. Not really yearly, but like we might have had even one 2022, and I'm not remembering, but or was it? Wait, my brain, yeah. SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake came out in 2023. Then you had Patrick's Star Game in 2024. And now, this was teased, and a new THQ SpongeBob game. I really enjoyed the Cosmic Shake. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great game. And they released this. I forgot how this came to be, but that little Patrick there is the same Patrick that you get in the Cosmic Shake. So I think this might be a Cosmic Shake sequel. And that's really exciting. I loved that game, or I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought the writing was really impressive and wasn't like really gross new SpongeBob writing. It was really borrowing much more from like the older days. And I thought it was pretty good 3D platformer. And if we get another one, that's gonna be great. Oh yeah, and after this is pretty boring. It's just like other stuff that has been in previous Nintendo Directs and Nintendo presentations that like we'll probably get. They're big enough to include. Date Everything, maybe not, but I just really want to see more of that game. It's coming out in June, and it would make sense to get a short little trailer for it. I don't remember if it was in an indie world or I think it was a Direct, partner showcase, maybe. But I remember it was in one recitation. The 100 line Last Defense Academy, that's a really bad title. I'm pretty excited for that one. That one seems fun. And it was in the last session of Rex, so it would be a little weird to have them in both, but I think that makes sense. I think they're really pouring a lot into the marketing for that game. And Professor Layton, it was in a direct a while ago. I can't remember if it was in another one. I know, like, what's the team? It's like level 5? I think so. They had like a big presentation about their stuff, and it was weird. But you know, I think it makes sense to show that off for the Switch Direct. I think this is pretty good. This is the one I'm most sure of. I really think they're gonna do it because the Patrick Star game was revealed in a Nintendo presentation. I think it was a partner showcase. I think they're gonna do it. I think this is my best prediction yet. And this stuff, yeah, Wario Land has a little less possibility of happening, but it's more so representing just like a big game, because I think they have to have at least one thing that is not a port or DLC or just a new trailer on an old game, just because, like, they could have very easily just called this Nintendo Direct Mini and just done, like, okay, we're gonna do Query Planet Robobot, we're gonna do we're gonna do Metroid 4 trailer and a Silksong trailer and maybe like one other thing, because I was looking right here at this Direct Mini, because I remember watching this one when it came out, and this one's pretty packed with like Nintendo stuff. You start with, I think this was the reveal trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and that's like a pretty big new port. And then you get some third-party stuff, and this, I can't remember. I don't know if this is a trailer before or after Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 released, but if it was before, then this is a trailer for a Nintendo published game, and then you get an update for Animal Crossing. You get a little it's tiny game that from like Nintendo, like a first party Nintendo thing, which I thought to represent with Pushmo. And you get like a pretty big third party thing with Catherine Fullbody, and then you get another update for Ring Fit Adventure, and then what is this? Wait, I did not get this far. Oh, just an announcement that there will be an ARMS character in Smash, and then what is this? Don't miss this ARMS game trial. Okay, I did not get this far. Now, Switch Online, they did a thing for this. Wow, that's funny. I did not know that. What is this one? Oh, this is Bravely Default 2, and I'm pretty sure this is also a Nintendo published game. So this isn't like the biggest direct ever, and then you have a couple of games. That's another Nintendo published game. It has a lot of Nintendo published stuff, and then you have a Pokemon Sword and Shield update with DLC. This is a ton of stuff for a Nintendo Direct Mini. So that, looking at that, really made me think, like, what, this isn't enough. That just a Kirby port, new trailer for 2, already previously announced game 1 isn't even a Nintendo game. That's not enough to keep up an entire Direct. And I think this stuff is, Mother 3 I think is the one I'm least sure of happening. I think Super Mario Jerry, that could happen, and even then, I feel like if we had a new Metroid Prime 4 trailer, like all this stuff, and all this stuff, I feel like this might even be a little worse than this thing, because this is an impressive direct for just being a mini, but you know, I think if we get this would be a darn good direct, especially if we get this. And I think my favorite thing with the directs is that I just always want something that I'm not expecting, something that I have no idea is gonna happen. So that's why, like, watching the June direct was so fun, because it was just like Mario and Luigi in the first like second, and that was thought to be like, oh, they can't do that, you know, Mario and Luigi, the Alpha Game's dead. Then you have like a new T Zelda that was sort of leaked a bunch, but you know, Metroid Prime 4, people that are like, oh, is that really happening? A new Mario Party that like actually looked really good. There was just so much stuff, and so much stuff that I wasn't thinking about previously, and I think, well, I do want these predictions to come true. I think my favorite thing about Nintendo Directs is just the surprise of a lot of this stuff. So, yeah, peace out.